Disruption Networks. Easy Radio. Disruption Networks.
I'm back, people. How are you? I hope you're enjoying your day. It is EC Radio. We're live on all Disruption Network social media platforms, and it's wrapped up into a nice little podcast of love that you can listen to, view at your discretion, at your leisure, at disruptionnetwork.net, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and, of course, my favorite platform, Spotify. Before we get into anything, much love out to my sponsors, EJA Moving Services. When you're ready to move and relocate, when you're ready to have him move your gym equipment or your parents' home or whatever, if you need to move, have EJA Moving Company move you. Call them today at 315-335-0516 or hit them up at ejamoving.com. Also, much love to my attorney, Dave Longaretta. If you need legal advice, give him a call today at 315-735-6162. Shout out to my peeps over at Utica Coffee. Wake the hell up. That's what they preach on a daily basis. Wake the hell up with Utica Coffee at wakethehellup.com. And, of course, my good friends over at the Saranac Brewery. You know, coming up, watching all the time hop videos that have been popping up on my feed, and noticed a couple years ago, to like the exact date, we were hanging out with Mo at the Saranac Brewery, and I know my guest, chief editor from 315 Music News, Mike Kohli, was at that show, weren't you?
I was. I was at both of the shows.
You're at both of those shows. Do you remember any of them?
Yeah, it was yesterday. Because I posted a video of Bear Song when the Saranac Bears were bouncing around the crowd.
Yes, remember that?
That was fun.
We put them up in the roof of the stage, and then just kind of pulled a string, or actually, I think Marky might have been up on top of that roof, just throwing them off.
I think somebody was just tossing them off.
We were just tossing them off, and it's happened a couple times. I mean, when Mo and Saranac gets together, it's usually a likely event to occur.
I need to get one of those inflatable.
You do?
Saranac Bears.
You don't have one?
No.
I got a guy. How you been, bud? It's good to see you.
I've been well.
Yeah?
Keeping busy.
Keeping busy?
Trying to, anyway.
The publication got you busy?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to dedicate as much time to it as I can while I have the time to do it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's keeping me busy.
Right on, man. I know I mentioned Spotify. And you came up with a playlist for today.
Yeah.
Is this playlist something you make often?
Yeah. I do my weekly Porch Dick live stream with my daughter, and we use music in that stream every week. And so I create a playlist every week based on what she played in that episode. So my Spotify page is just loaded with Porch Dick playlists.
Now, you do this podcast with your daughter. Do you feel weird calling it Porch Dick in front of your daughter?
No. Not at all. She's cool.
Yeah.
She's cool.
She is cool. She's super cool. Well, how did the name Porch Dick ever come about? I think we've talked about this before, but I forget.
I started hashtagging Porch Dick when I was just hanging out on my porch. It came from The Walking Dead.
Oh.
Or actually the show that followed The Walking Dead, the one where they talk about each episode, The Talking Dead. So the host... tried to get the hashtag Porch Dick trending based on one of the episodes. And so I started using it when I was just hanging out on my porch, just yelling at people that were driving by too fast or people scrapping in my garbage. So it would just hashtag Porch Dick. And then eventually it just became a thing. And then Copper City brewed a beer and named it Porch Dick.
Did they really?
Yeah.
What kind of beer is that?
It's a pale ale.
Is it sour?
No, not at all. It should be. It should be.
Or salty?
It should have been. Yeah. It's just a nice mellow pale ale that similar to like the Saranac Pale Ale, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and we made some T-shirts based on that. And my feet are the logo, propped up on the rail of the porch, with a glass of beer in my hand.
Ah, cool. Speaking of Copper City, are they up and rolling right now, right?
We're open. Yeah, we're open, but no music. We haven't had music since March.
What a shame.
We almost had some music. We had maybe Sunday booked to play, I think it was 2 Fridays ago. because they were supposed to have their album release party back in April, and obviously they got scrapped because of all this. So, and they had a beer come out. We named a beer after one of their songs. And so the day that the beer came out, they just came down to the brewery and they were selling some of their merch and just hanging out for a little bit. You know, when people could come in, it was just like walk-in service at that point. So we tried to reschedule. We were going to set them up outside the brewery to play outside. And then that was the same week. It was like 2 days, scheduled for like 2 days after when the liquor authority kind of revamped their whole music live performance stuff at restaurants and bars.
I feel like they were doing that on a weekly basis.
Yes. It seemed like it was changing weekly.
Yeah.
But that's when the whole incidental music thing came out. And so we decided it'd probably be in our best interest at the brewery to not be the first place in the news for violating that. So we kind of put that aside for now.
Are things running smooth right now?
Yeah, it's still pretty busy.
Yeah, good.
A lot of the regulars are coming in, and the patio's out big time.
Yeah.
Because people like to sit outside when it's nice out, and fortunately we've had a beautiful weather summer.
Yeah.
So that's been helpful.
Of course, because there's no concerts this year.
No.
If there was a concert every day, it'd be raining, muddy, 60 degrees.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this weekend was the traditional Mowdown Weekend.
Yeah.
It was beautiful this weekend, but if it was Mowdown Weekend, it would definitely be like 45 degrees and rain.
Yeah. Frost, freezing.
Yeah.
So many Mowdowns. I've woken up freezing my ass off just because, I mean, it's September and it's cold. But I like that they did switch it to like 4th of July.
Yeah.
And they did a couple of those at Mohawk. That was right around Labor Day, too, as well. And there was one year, I think we did it in like August. I'm going to say there was an August Mowdown.
Yeah, it was like a mid-August, I think.
At one point, yeah. They're trying to mess around with it weather-wise to see which would work better. And I don't know, I'd like for it to go back to Labor Day. But actually, I would give anything for any kind of live music to come back at full speed again.
Exactly.
Anything.
Yep.
Is there anything you'd like to see stick around after COVID's done?
Jeez. I don't know. I think overall, I think people are more conscious of each other.
Yeah.
And being nicer to each other on the whole. I mean, there's obviously pockets of aggression and you can't make me do this and whatnot. But
of course,
I think overall, I think more people are conscious of other people and their conditions and whatnot. So I think I'd like to see that stick around.
I got to be honest with you. I haven't been out at all. I'm still kind of freaked.
Yeah.
I'm kind of spooked still in a way. Like I
don't go very many. I go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
I go to the brewery. That's basically all I do, really.
Your two stopping points.
Yeah. I mean, the brewery's like my second home anyway. So.
Yeah. I've been hiking and camping, or kayaking and stuff like that.
I did start doing a lot of that early on. You know, I took the kayak out. I got the mountain bike out. I was doing a lot of that kind of stuff. And then I just kind of stopped for, I don't know what reason. I just got lazy and put on the COVID-19.
Yeah, seriously. The 19 pounds, you mean?
Yeah.
Right? They call it the COVID-15, but in actuality, it's the 19.
Yeah, it's the 19.
But yeah, like I would go to the gym a lot, and I'm going to cancel my membership to the gym. I'm in no hurry to go to a gym. I'm in no hurry to go to a bar or a movie or any of that.
No.
Not at all. Not at all. I think it's made me, and you're saying like people have been more conscious of each other, where I've been pushing away society more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. People agitate me now. I'm getting agitated a little bit more easier. I'm trying to stay in my bubble.
I get a little porch sticky in the grocery store.
Porch sticky. Do you look at somebody in the grocery store when you got a mask on and be like, do I know that person? Do I know that person?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Kind of look familiar. But everybody kind of has their head down and just goes about their business in the grocery store nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, but, every grocery store now has got, the one-way aisles.
Yeah.
With this, the markings on the floor, the things on the side of the shelving, big red or big green, How hard is it to follow that stuff? That stuff drives me insane.
Yeah.
When I go grocery shopping, these people, you realize there's people coming in both directions and you're going the wrong direction? Why? Mm-hmm. Why is that so difficult to understand?
Yeah.
Just do it.
My guest last week, Joe Finelli, said one thing he'd like to see stick around after COVID is done is the 6-foot distance from each other.
Yeah.
And I can't blame him there.
Yeah.
Same here.
I do miss hugging.
Yeah.
Like, when I go out and I see people that I know and, just the greeting hugs. I do miss doing that.
I don't even shake hands anymore.
No, I don't either.
It's either a fist bump or a lot of people are big on the elbow.
Oh, boy, I saw Schumer doing that yesterday in his little barnstorming trip across upstate.
Yeah. Save Our Stages was happening yesterday. Big ups to my boy Dan Masternardi over at the Westcott.
Yeah.
I just got off the phone with him. He goes, dude, I was a little nervous. I had to make a speech. I wrote it out. I had like 3 people read it for me and see if it was good enough. And but no, we got to save the stages, man. That's why, listen, man, music's the only thing, like, I know. It's what I've grown up in my whole life. I've been in the music industry. It's the only thing I do.
Right.
And I would really like to get back to work.
Start getting a paycheck.
Yeah, get back to work and doing the things I like to do. I didn't work so goddamn hard to just sit here and be stagnant. Granted, I love doing this podcast. I absolutely love it, but there's more to it.
Right.
And a lot of the content that I get for the podcast is from the music industry. And when there's no music industry right now, the content gets kind of stale after a while.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
That's the trouble we're having with 315 is, there's nothing to cover. So it's kind of a lot of historical stuff. On this day, so-and-so played it, blah, blah, blah. Were you there? Chime in the comments. And, it's not the same.
What happened on this day?
Oh, geez, I didn't look today.
You didn't look today?
Didn't.
How about within the last couple of days?
Well, obviously Mowdown.
Mowdown, for sure.
And, oh, geez.
A state fair.
State fair shows, yeah. There's a
I'm
lot of
missing
state
the
fair shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other day, the one came up with Rush at the state fair. Yeah, that was the only time I ever saw Rush. It was 10 years ago.
Wow.
They played there. And the seats I got were god-awful. They were right behind a beam. I couldn't see the band on stage from my vantage point. All I could see was this beam holding up the roof. And so I tried wandering around to just get better views, and the ushers were being jerks. Even if you just stop for a second, come on, you got to move along, I'm like, come on, I paid as much as this guy did for my ticket. He's got a plain, clear view of the stage, and I'm looking at a freaking post. And it's my only time seeing Rush. But
great band.
Still got to see him. It was a great show.
What are some of your other favorite state fair performances?
I saw the Almond Brothers there. I think it was the year Jerry Garcia died.
Oh, wow.
Warren Haynes was playing with them at the time. They did this big montage at the end with a bunch of pictures of Jerry and Jerry hanging out with the guys in the Almonds, and it was really cool. And the whole crowd was just like, you could see tears on people's faces, and that was super cool. I think that was, 95? 95? Yeah, that was a really cool show. The Dropkick shows, the first one when they came in last minute out of the bullpen to substitute for Diggy Betts, that show was insane.
Yeah, both years.
They just came out. They didn't have any, they just came off a tour, and they said, all right, we'll play. And shoot, what's the lead singer's name? Can't remember his name.
Mr. Murphy.
Mr. Dropkick. But he comes out on stage, he's like, this is the first fucking state fair we've ever played. This is awesome. And then they came back the next year, and last year was insane.
Yeah, it was.
They had like 30,000 people there estimated.
I'll tell you, man, Dropkick, they always put on such a great performance.
Yeah, they're fun. They're so fun.
Energy super high, and they're just such cool dudes, too. They remind me of like hanging out with people from Utica in a way. They're just like down to earth.
They got that same working man mentality.
Indeed.
Yep.
Indeed. So yeah, nothing really to write about other than history stuff with music.
Which is cool because I'm a history major anyway. So.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's your background?
Yeah, I was certified social studies teacher for a little while.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you teach?
Westmoreland.
Westmoreland. For many years or just?
No, it was brief.
Yeah.
It was term subbing. And then I couldn't latch on. I couldn't get a full-time gig.
Did you have a favorite era that you would like to teach?
My favorite, I'm a really big Revolutionary War nut. Probably because I grew up in Rome and got the fort smack dab in the middle of downtown. So, yeah, Revolutionary War is kind of my geekiness.
That's your forte?
Yeah.
Would you take the class to like Fort Stanwix and
Oh yeah, Fort Stanwix
Yeah,
and
the
Fort Bull,
battleground.
the site of Fort Bull, and Steuben Monument, and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like 4th of July every year, I still do that kind of stuff. I'll just I drive past all the historical sites this year. Those blue and yellow signs all over the place, those historical marker signs. I just drove around, got in the car, drove around, just took pictures of as many of those as I could.
Oh, cool.
Those historical marker signs. Then visited Steuben Monument. And
Are you a collector? Do you collect any
Nah.
historic memorabilia?
not so much with the history stuff.
No.
No, I'm more of a music hoarder.
Are you?
Yeah.
Poster guy?
Posters, records.
Do you have a portfolio of posters?
No, I just have them scattered all over different places in the house.
Unframed?
One of these days when the kids are both gone out of the house and I have my own one-room
Your
office
man
type
cave.
place, my little cave, it'll be decorated.
Would you call it the Dick Cave?
That's an idea. Although
It's got weird,
it's
weird
got some other
connotations.
connotations.
But posters such a big game right now, especially in the music world. Like I got friends that have portfolio after portfolio. You just kind of finger through the pages, and it's a neat game.
Yeah, and some of these bands put out some awesome posters. I know, like in the Mo group that I'm in on Facebook, that's the biggest thing that people are looking for whenever they go on tour or whenever they have a show, because they tend to do different posters for each show.
Right.
And people are always begging, if you have this one, I have this one, I have an extra of this. A little trading environment going on with these posters. But I've never really purchased any posters. I like to grab the free stuff if I can find it.
The VIP stuff or whatever.
Or set list. Try to get a set list from the stage or something like that.
Yeah.
Butter up the sound guy and get his set list or something.
Were you a tape trader at all back in the day? The bootlegs?
I was actually. I was never really a big Deadhead.
No.
Growing up, no. I was more into the punk and the metal stuff. But
Hence the circle jerk shirt you're wearing today.
yes.
I love it.
Listen to a little punk, and whatever I tend to listen to in the shower is the shirt I end up picking out for that day.
Come on. For real?
Yeah, kind of, for the most part. But so it was probably 95 or so, I think, is the first time I saw Mo. And they played at Captain Tripp's.
That was 98.
98, okay.
Yeah,
98.
when there was Monkeys on Ecstasy?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Okay, so it was like 96 when No Doy came out, I think.
Yeah, right.
She sends me was I used to subscribe to CMJ Monthly magazine,
Yeah.
and it used to come with a sampler CD every month. I still have all of them. There was some great stuff on there, and she sends me was on one of those CDs. Like, oh, this is a pretty cool song. Wait a minute, Mo, they're from this area. So that kind of got them on my radar. And a buddy of mine had an extra ticket to that Monkeys on Ecstasy show at Captain Tripp's, and we went, and it was freaking packed.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know a whole lot of their stuff. And then I think in the late second set, they got into a really long Dark Star. And
Cryptical into the other one.
yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. And
I've listened to that tape so many times that I know it by heart.
I wasn't into that stuff at that point in my life. So I was just like, and my buddy, he's a metal guy too. And he goes, you want to go? Yeah, let's give it 5 more minutes. And then they just kept going. I'm like, yeah, let's go. So we ended up bailing on that in the middle of that. But it was still a great show. But then eventually, within that year, I was sending tapes out. I still have a bunch of tapes. I'm in C-Pods and a lot of Mo shows, a lot of Fish shows, some Dead stuff, Medeski, Martin and Wood, all the stuff that was big back in like 98, 97.
Yeah. Were you a Columbia House guy?
I was.
Were you?
Several times.
That's the original Spotify right there.
Columbia House and BMG.
Right.
So, with different names on the cards.
You tape the penny on the back of it,
Yeah,
and you get
yeah.
like 7 cassettes for like a penny, and then you'd have to return them. Did you ever return them?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
You returned them. I think you're one of the few. Everybody
Return
else
the card, you mean?
No, return the tapes.
Oh, no, I never did return the tapes.
No.
I think maybe once or twice. I never did the tapes. I did the records, then I did the CDs.
Yeah.
I never did the tapes. But because I didn't like the label on the tapes, because they weren't the original label.
Right.
They changed them a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure they did with the CDs and everything, but it was more obvious on the tapes.
You're right.
That they had different labels on them. So I'm like, no, this isn't authentic enough. I don't want this.
Yeah. give these kids a little history lesson. Columbia House was a music group. You would go and they'd give you a catalog every week or however much. You would see them in the back of a circular too on like a Sunday, right? Remember those? They would be on some kind of like
an ad in the Sunday paper.
Back of the Sunday paper, correct? And you cut it out and you tape a penny to it and you mail it in and you pick out all the cassettes that you wanted to listen to and. 2 weeks later, you get all these cassettes in the mail, and then you listen to them, but you were supposed to return them.
No, I think what it was, they sent you a card every month with the pick of the month.
The pick of the month.
And that would be the band on the cover of the magazine every month. And if you didn't want that album, you had to check the box that said no, and then mail it back to them. And if you didn't, they sent it to you and charged you whatever the going rate was for the full price for the album.
Yeah, the original tape trader right there. Kind of was. It turned down a lot of music. But now, with the digital platforms, it's just so wide open nowadays.
Yeah.
So wide open. What's on your playlist this week? Talk about some of these bands on your playlist.
On the 315 one?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a sometimes I feel like there's like 5 hours of music on that playlist.
Yeah.
And I felt like, maybe I should make it shorter. Maybe I should, partition it up, make a couple different ones. But I was just like, I just kept adding it because there's so much music in this area that people don't realize.
Right.
And, there's the typicals that you see at bars all the time. And so those people are out there. But there's other people, there's bands that are out there that can't right now, especially. Mm-hmm. But there's places that they just can't play. They're just not fit for, playing it indoor at a winery or a brewery. So those are starting to become the big musical performance spaces now, is places like that.
Yeah.
But, there's a band out of Syracuse called Mandate of Heaven. Super cool alt-rock type stuff. Very cool band. They put out an album this year. What the heck is it? I have them all written down here.
They've been around for a little while, too.
Yeah. The name of their album they put out this year is called Fading Hectographs Were Their Fact Saws.
That's a tongue twister.
Yeah, it is. But, yeah, I put one of their songs on that playlist, and it's super cool stuff. And the Syracuse area especially is pretty rocking with the alt-rock stuff. Matty Dale Music Club put out a single recently. Lucky 33. I just got a message from Red from Lucky 33 last week. They're working on an album that is just about done, so he wanted to send it to me to listen to. But and those guys are super cool. Guys in Lucky 33. They got to play at the Warped Tour on the last Warped Tour, the show in Darien Lake, which was awesome to see. They were so fired up for that.
Right on.
So they got the message because they played, I think, the time before, but they were playing on some tiny stage in the parking lot as people were coming in, and they were scheduled to play on that stage for the following year. And then, like the night before the show, they got a message from the Warped people that they were moving them to one of the bigger stages, and they were stoked. And they had a pretty decent crowd there for them. They played like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's a good time slot.
Yeah, they rocked it.
Who else can you put on my radar?
Let's see. Who else?
I like how you brought notes.
I always make notes. It's the teacher in me. Oh, All Poets and Heroes. They put out an album called Tardigrade this year.
Okay.
Really cool stuff. Nash is actually playing with them now.
And actually, Nash is checking in right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's up, Nash?
He says he loves the playlist, and he goes, look at this handsome fellow on my newsfeed right now. You and him have a bromance.
It must be Z.
That's not me.
I love Nash.
Yeah, good people. What's the name of the band again?
All Poets and Heroes.
Okay. So, what is it, like...
kind
like
of an alt-rock stuff.
Oh, yeah?
A little bit of rootsiness to them, but more or less they would fit right in on K-Rocker and 95X.
Oh, cool.
And the name of the album is called Tardigrade. Tardigrade.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool album.
Can you find them on the streaming platforms?
Yeah, they're on Spotify. They put out a couple of videos on YouTube when they've been releasing singles from it progressively over the course of the year.
Oh, cool.
So you can check out their videos on YouTube as well. Who else we got? Atkins Riot. is pretty good. They're a power trio, kind of more bluesy on the bluesy side, bluesy rock. You know, they would fit in well opening for like GNR or Aerosmith, something like that.
Oh, yeah? That Syracuse band?
Syracuse band, yep.
Okay.
Guitarist in that band, Anthony Saturno.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool dude.
I know his sister.
I got to meet him at the
She
Sammys.
works with us at the fair, actually. His sister
yeah?
does social media for the New York State Fair.
Oh, no good.
Yeah, Erica. And they were supposed to play. That's right. They were supposed to play last year, but then it rained or something. And
Yeah, I think so.
They had to cancel their set.
Yep.
Or something happened, and they had to like shuffle things around or something. So
Yeah, I think so.
Atkins Riot.
Atkins Riot. Yeah, they're cool.
Oh, I gotta check them out.
Yep.
There are a lot of these young bands I'm not familiar with, so that's why I got you around.
I do my research. You know, and I get a lot of help from people like Scott Dixon at 95X. Huge supporter of local music. And, you know, every week he picks a local spotlight artist that he plays the whole week at 6 o'clock.
Oh, yeah?
This week, All Poets and Heroes is their spotlight artist.
Oh, great.
But, you know, and he does a podcast, Locals Only, where he just plays nothing but local music. And that's where I pick up a lot of the more alternative type stuff. Because that kind of stuff is off my radar for a long time. And so, you know, checking out his playlist and his podcast. And then CNY Alive website with Fred Reed and Missy Thomas. Missy's all over the place out in Syracuse. She and I have become pretty good friends just through the music scene.
Oh, right on.
And so I follow her. You know,
She's a singer too, right?
No.
Oh, no.
She plays bass a little bit, but
Okay.
I don't think she's in any bands or anything.
Else, maybe.
But super cool. She's a good photographer too, killer photographer. And so she's out and about quite a bit at all the live music events in Syracuse area. So, you know, just following her and being friends with her, I get to find out some more acts that are happening. And, you know, so I try to keep my ear to the ground around here and see what's going on here. And so, yeah, I mean, basically all I do is listen to music and
That's great, man.
Try to find new music and try to support and elevate the local live music as much as I possibly can.
Back to Dixon, man. That guy's been a huge piece of the Syracuse music scene forever, as long as I can remember.
Yeah,
Ever
he
since
was at the Horizon. He was at the
Styleens for many years.
Yeah.
And 95. He's been in 95X probably 20 years by now.
He's been there for a while.
He's been there for a long time, man.
And he took a lot of notes from Dave Frasina, who's like the godfather of Central New York music.
I love that man.
He's awesome, Uncle Dave.
I love Dave Christina. He's a good man. He's been on this podcast before. We had such a great conversation. We could have went for 3 days talking. But Dave's another huge piece to the Syracuse music
absolutely.
scene.
I mean, I listened to his Sunday night show. It's been going on for like 40 years, I think. Soundcheck. And it's all
Has
local.
it been 40 years?
I
he's
think
been
so,
doing
yeah.
that show? Wow.
Yeah, he started it when he first came to Syracuse, right out of Cortland.
Great man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Great man.
I
Huge
love Dave.
supporter. And back when music was going at full swing, I'd see him at all the shows. He'd come to Utica often.
If he's at a show, you know it's a show you're supposed to be at.
Great point.
You
Great
know?
point. You're right. And how many times he'd come from Utica on his bike? He'd just pull up right out front of Saranac or somewhere. And like, oh, there's Dave. And
Yep.
good point, though. You're right. If it's a great show, Dave's probably going to be there.
Right. And, you know, being friends with him on Facebook, every now and then he'll post. I mean, he's even more of a collector nerd than I am with the stuff that he's kept over the years. You know, backstage passes that he's had, or pictures that he's gotten with different musicians, or his ticket stubs from, you know, he saw Springsteen at the Oswego State Gym. You know, so he is a Central New York treasure for sure.
I feel like all the radio guys are big collectors.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like every radio guy I know, Genesee Joe, the Dr. Jerry Krause, bring up the doc. He's got such a great, huge collection of not just albums, but pictures, and you know, Jerry's always posting stuff on his social media with pictures that he's met throughout the years. I saw a picture with him and Gene Simmons last week.
Nice.
Who has a picture with Gene Simmons?
Also, Record Store Day a couple weeks ago. Not to change subjects, but you reminded me with talking about the Doctor and then Genesee Joe. You remember those albums that came out back in the 80s, early 80s, the Rock of Central New York albums?
Oh, yeah. The OUR albums?
Yeah. So I picked up a couple of those on Record Store Day over at Reimagine on Commercial Drive. I think it's Commercial Drive, right?
Yeah.
Where the mall is. And just reading through the bands and the names of the people in the bands, And these were put out in like 81, 82, 83,
They
something
did
like
a few
that.
volumes.
The two I got the original one and volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
Was the only two I saw there. But I never had them, growing up. But all these bands I knew the names of just from the commercials on the radio or the ads in the newspaper. Mr. Ed playing at 4 Acres in Marcy, or Coleman's in Rome, or stuff like that. And just seeing the names of some of these people that are listed in these bands, I'm like, holy cow, these guys are still out there playing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's super cool. It's like 40 years on, and they're still big in the music scene here.
I always hear from the old timers, 4 Acres was the best music venue ever. And hearing all the stories that who played at 4 Acres, like the Ramones played there, Tony Heads played there,
Elvis Costello,
John Mellencamp played there.
John Cougar.
There's just Eddie Money, and the list goes on and on and on. But I hear all these stories about how 4 Acres was just so legendary.
Yeah, and I was just too young. It was just a little bit before, actually a lot of it, I think. It was like 79 to about 84, I think, is when all those bands were coming through there.
Yeah. What was the first local band you would follow often?
Sweet Cheetah.
Sweet Cheetah. That brings back some memory. Okay.
Kind of the forerunner to Red Hush.
Uh-huh.
Ray Abel, and actually Matakopis was before Sweet Cheetah.
Right,
so
yeah.
it was Ray, Mark Madonia, Jim Taylor, and Shane Perry. And I still have that album. And the picture of them on the back is just priceless.
It's like more of like a Queensryche vibe, right?
Yeah, a little
really
bit, yeah.
Scream-esque type of
yeah,
thing.
and they're still popular. Like if you Google Matakopis, it'll take you to like eBay sites and Discogs sites where this album is going for like $500 in like Belgium and in Europe and South America. They're still big. That album is still big.
From Rome, New York.
Yeah. I sent a screenshot to Jim Taylor. I'm good friends with him still. Of I think it was on eBay, of their album for sale for like $500. And so he started telling me stories about how they almost got back together a few years ago. So there was a festival going on in Belgium, I think it was, or Bulgaria, one of the B European countries. They wanted them to play.
Wow.
But they had to pay their way to get there and get their gear there and all that. So they kind of just nixed the idea. But he was like, yeah, that was super cool that we got asked to play at this festival. We haven't played together in 40 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. What else were you obsessed with back in the day, local band-wise?
We saw the SIV.
SIV, of course,
Oh,
yes.
SIV was always an awesome show.
Yeah.
Always.
You always walk out of there kind of dirty.
Yeah. And definitely need a shower after an SIV show. SIV, Nine Ball, we saw Nine Ball a lot back in the day.
I'll tell you, that was the band we all were ready to go on tour with, too, back then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we thought they were going to, they were so close to getting signed. And
they were.
And right there at the right time.
Yeah, they were doing that kind of stuff, and Joe's got that stage presence. And
Well, we were ready to go hit the road with those guys. But just, things happen. And music changed, too, a lot.
Yeah.
That
was, what, early 90s, probably?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Then the grunge scene kind of faded away and became pseudo-grunge.
Yeah. And then right in the 90s, too, is when the jam band thing came about, too.
Yeah.
And Joe kind of switched directions, too, with the Funk Daddies.
Oh, yeah.
Going that route. And the Funk Daddies had great run. Great run.
Yeah, I did catch them a few times, too.
They were awesome. It was a fun band. But Joe's very diverse when it comes to music, man. He's smart. He knew what was going on. But, yeah, we had a good run with the Funk Daddies as well. That whole 90s was just something I tell kids all the time. Like, you guys don't even know. Like, back then, it's just so much fun. Like, the stuff that we were doing and the bands that were out. I mean, you just go to Captain Trips and see so many great bands. I saw Aquarium Rescue Unit there when there was like 10 people there.
Yeah.
Like, how is there not hundreds of people
There used to be so many cool national acts playing at Captain Trips.
Yeah.
Warren Zevon played there.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I didn't go. I'm killing myself for never seeing Warren Zevon perform.
Government Mule played there often.
Did they?
When they first came out, they played there like 3 or 4 times.
My first experience with Mule was on that Summer Sessions tour that they did with Mo and String Cheese and Galactic.
Yeah.
It was out in Jamesville.
You mentioned the Mo show back in 98. Then the very next day, the punk band Goldfinger played there.
I remember seeing the posters for that.
And it was just as packed as the Mo show the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like wall to wall. I went to both shows, and amazing. Goldfinger was a fun band, very high energy.
Yeah, I didn't really listen to a whole lot of them, but they come across my radar every once in a while on different punk playlists and stuff.
They had that song "Here in Your Bedroom."
Oh, that's right.
That was played a lot on K-Rock.
Yep.
But the bands that were coming in and out of Captain Trips, Tommy did a great job booking that place. He did a great job. And it wasn't just jam bands. See, they had that, they were kind of pigeonholed thinking it was just hippie bands over there, but it wasn't.
Right.
You know, the Fix played there, and Slaughter played there, and Rat played there, and there's so many great bands throughout the years.
Yeah, I was listening to your playlist that you put together, the Captain Trips bands. I'm like, geez, I can't believe these guys played there.
Yeah.
They were right down the road.
Do you have fun making playlists?
I do.
I do, too.
It's not as fun as making mixtapes, though.
It's more of a pain in the ass to play mixtapes.
It is, but if you got a mixtape from somebody or you gave somebody a mixtape, there was a whole lot of meaning behind it.
Right.
Because that's an investment. That's a time investment right there. From picking out the songs, what you want, how you want to start it. You know, kick it off. Do you kick it off with something that's got some punch that'll grab them right away, and then slowly do you make it a theme? How do you end? And there's always like maybe a minute and a half of tape left at the end of a side, and me being the goofball that I am, I want to have music the entire length of the tape. So I'd be digging through my library. All right, there's a Stormtroopers of Death song that's 45 seconds. That fits. Boom. I want some milk on there to close out side one.
SOD. No doubt. Mixtape was more involved.
Yeah,
though, but it was a lot of work. Where nowadays you just drag and click and that, or add to playlist type of thing.
And you don't have those limitations either. I mean, like this playlist I put together for today, it's 5 hours long.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to sit there. I mean, if you're at work and you just put it on, But this playlist is super diverse too. It's not, there's no. The only theme to it is that they're all bands from this part of the world. Mm-hmm. That's the only real theme. I mean, there's I got Fritz's Polka Band on there. I got a band called Goner, a metal band they're based out of Syracuse. The drummer I know pretty well. He comes to the brewery quite a bit.
Is there any nostalgic bands on there, or is it all current?
There's some.
Yeah.
I put a Flash Cube song on there. Legendary Syracuse band, kind of a power pop type thing, and like the Babies. Kind of sounds like the Babies.
Oh, cool.
What else did I put on there? John Liebing. I put on, but this is from his new album. He just put out an album this year, too. Mm-hmm. So I put one of his songs on there. Can't remember who else is on there.
I'm going to post it up on the description of this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to focus more on stuff that has come out in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And I was shocked at how much actually has come out just this year alone. And there's been a lot of activity from these local bands that have been putting stuff out, and putting them on the streaming services. So yeah, tried to keep it more current.
It's gonna be interesting to see the music that comes out after all this lockdown, COVID bullshit ends.
Actually, yeah.
I think it's gonna be one big party. Like once they're like, okay, there's no more masks, or and there's like, say, a vaccine or whatever. You think everybody's just gonna like?
I don't think so.
No,
I think this whole thing has kind of changed everybody.
It's definitely changed me 100%.
Changed the mindset of the whole thing. So I don't think it's gonna happen.
All right.
I don't know. I'd like to see it happen though.
Just a big old bash.
Yeah.
People partying in the streets. Like when World War II ended, you always see those pictures in New York City with, the GIs kissing their girls, and there's just like streamers and ticker tape parades and whatnot. Think it will happen? No, probably not.
We need to have a cream pie fight.
We do. I want to make that happen, but I don't know if it can happen nowadays.
No, probably not.
Not today. It definitely wouldn't happen. No. As I'm opting out of 2020, I'm just done. I tried to do a couple events this year, and it's like they get canceled, or just like there's no interest, or just people have lost their oomph.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean when the Mo show got pulled at Vernon Downs,
heartbreaking.
I was bummed. I was super bummed because I was fired up when I first heard about it. Mm-hmm. Like, this is going to be so cool.
Yeah,
they're coming back to their home area. And they're going to do some stuff. They're going to make things happen, and then...
if it was like 3 weeks later, it would have happened. You know what I
Probably,
mean?
yeah, probably.
If the timing was a little bit different, it would have definitely happened.
Yeah, I think so. Because you saw all those other drive-in shows happening around the same time. You know, Aqueous did a couple out in Rochester area and Buffalo area.
Yep.
And Pigeons did the one.
And Auburn.
That was after, though.
That was,
supposed to
after.
play, right?
Like 3
Pigeons.
weeks after.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the timing was just a little bit off.
It was. There's still a lot of this. Well, there's still uncertainty, but there was a little more uncertainty back then.
Yeah.
And it's just been kind of shoot at the hip type of thing right now.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows.
I mean, who knew there was so many drive-ins still open?
Right?
You know?
No doubt.
I mean, that's one of the things, you know, you hear the wrong people moaning all the time about, oh, what happened to the West Rome Drive-In? Because West Rome Drive-In was a killer place to hang for a long time. They had 2 screens. Back in high school, it was like Tuesdays was carload night, so you'd pay like $5. As many people as you could fit in your car come in. So Tuesday nights during the summer, half of RFA was there partying at the West Rome Drive-In. But
People just lost interest.
yeah, I mean, people stopped going for sure. I mean, I think the last time I was at the drive-in, I took my daughter to see one of the Hunger Games movies and Spider-Man, one of the Spider-Man movies. She was only like 5 or 6 at the time, and then they closed. Everybody's moaning and groaning about it being gone, but nobody went.
Is there anything there now?
It's where Davidson's Chevrolet dealership is now.
Gotcha.
They bought that property, and when there was a big outcry, oh my God, they're taking away the drive-in. So they invested a little money and they recreated the drive-in behind the dealership, and nobody went. So they were like, all right, we're going to get rid of this and make it part of our dealership, you know, and whatever I forget what they put up.
Damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Right. You know, they did make an effort to bring it back after everybody was crying about it, and then nobody went. So
Nobody gave a shit.
yeah.
Unreal. But now they do.
Yeah, no, that's where all the concerts are.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept, but I definitely want to get back to the old style of concerts, not just hanging out by your car. Like,
Right.
you hang out in your car to go tailgate before the concert
Yeah.
instead of you're tailgating during the concert.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's a little weird. And plus, there's nobody around the stage, which
Yeah.
is a little weird
Yeah,
to
that's-
see. You know, it's just like this open space.
That's always unnerving at a regular show, you know, when the opening band's up there grinding away, and
Yeah.
there's like 3 people up front.
Right, and then everybody's beeping their horns
jeez.
for clapping. The cool thing is, though, is to see the band and the concert on the big screen.
Okay.
Giant old screen. You can see it from wherever you are at the drive-in. And I'm speaking of the Finger Lakes Drive-In at Auburn.
Uh-huh.
I mean, wherever you are in that venue, you can see it.
So where do they put the stage there?
They kind of put it, they put it right in front of the concession area.
Oh, okay.
'Cause there's really nowhere else to put it.
Uh-huh.
Can't put it in front of the stage because it's like a swamp area. And this is like really the only place to put it. So they put it right in front of the concessions, and the bathrooms are right there. So makes it a little weird, but
Yeah.
it's something.
Right.
You know, it's definitely something. And they got a couple of shows. Shout out to our peeps over at Creative Concerts. They're doing Almond Bats there on September 18th and September 19th. They just announced Martin Sexton's going to be there. That's cool. I have back-to-back shows.
Yeah.
It's something.
I saw Sexton a couple years ago at Good Nature.
I was there.
Really?
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
Mike,
with
with
Mikey
Mike Powell?
Powell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike Powell opened.
He opened up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely there. Martin Sexton's amazing. And it's amazing at how many people he's influenced
Yeah.
throughout his career.
Powell talks about him a lot.
Yeah, so does Mount Blue.
Big
They
influence.
love that, man. And he's right here from Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just been around and paid his dues and traveled all over the place.
He's been banging around for a long time.
Long time. I wasn't really too familiar with him. Were you?
I knew the name.
Mm-hmm.
I never really listened to him a whole lot. But when Powell started talking about him, I'm like, let me give him a listen. And Powell got me into John Prine. I thought John Prine was like, my dad music.
Mm-hmm.
But after listening to some of the stuff that he's made, I'm all in on John Prine. And that's thanks to Mike Powell.
Are the rumors true about Mike Powell? Is he retiring from the music business?
He kind of hung it up.
He did?
He was doing some streaming stuff early on Saturday nights from his house. And it was fairly regular. And then he and John did one set from John's club downtown Syracuse, King of Clubs, where they had the full light show and played on the stage there and whatnot. That was super cool. I think that may have been the last. He He may have done one more after that. But, yeah, he said just the wind has gone out of his sails with this whole thing. Because he's such an immediate kind of person. I mean, he writes a song, he wants to get it out there immediately. He doesn't want to, put it in a drawer and wait till he has a pile of songs ready to put on an album. He wants to get it out there as soon as it's written. And with the lack of reaction, that you're getting from staring at a computer screen playing your guitar, you're getting comments on the screen, but it's just not the same. And I get that.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely get that. But I don't know how often he's playing now, but
I imagine a lot of people are going to hang it up after this is done.
that's what worries me. I mean, not just the venues closing and never reopening again, but the musicians that we may lose to it.
Yeah.
Just giving up on the game and finding just a regular daily grind job.
They don't want to go to a regular daily grind job.
No. I know Mike's keeping himself busy because he does a lot of woodworking and he makes candles, and he's really into that right now. So he's got that. At least he's doing something he's passionate about. Where he's not going to have to become a day laborer or something, Where he's doing something that he's still passionate about as much as he is about the music. So
Black River had a good little run, too.
Yeah.
Great band.
Yeah, super cool band.
Damn COVID.
Freaking COVID. Mike put out a couple albums this year, too.
Pam saying Martin Sexton and The American. Says that's fire.
Yeah?
Probably that's the name of the album.
Name of the
American.
album?
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
That'd be an interesting show. That comes up on September the 19th at the Finger Lakes Drive-In. You could check out Creative Concerts website at cctix.com, cctix.com. So gave me a couple stickers here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm a sticker fanatic. So anybody out there in social media land that's watching this right now, if you ever want to make my day, give me a sticker.
Me too.
I'll take stickers from, just regular sticker books, or doesn't matter. Even the Gold Star stickers your teacher used to give you in class. I still got a bunch of mine. I swear to you, I do.
You got a bunch of Gold Star stickers from the teachers?
Yes.
Wow.
I have this cabinet at home. It's this metal cabinet I've had since I was a child. And if my mom's watching, I'm sure she could attest to this. I still have this cabinet. And it's just loaded with stickers from when I was a youth. And just even my Gold Star stickers are on there. And just like these little tedious, it's crazy.
I used to plaster my bikes with stickers.
Did you?
Yeah, my dad hated it because my dad, he'd tinker around with bikes all the time. He'd find a bike on the side of the road, bring it home, put new gears on it, put new cables on it, and fix it up. And then, we never got new bikes. We got these bikes that Dad found and fixed up. And I had this purple bike with the handlebars, like the chopper handlebars, and the big banana seat. And I just plastered it with all baseball stickers.
Yeah.
Every pack of cards came with a sticker.
Yeah.
So my whole bike was covered in baseball players.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Thank you for these, though. We got the music 315 music sticker here, Central New York. I love it. Who came up with the logo with the design?
Jim Gilbert did. He was one of the partners at New York State Music.
Okay.
And then when he left New York State Music, he was still with New York State Music. He took over the Nippertown website, which is the Capital District's culture and arts magazine. So he and I have been going back and forth about putting this together, putting regional site stuff together. So he's concentrating on the Albany area, the Capital District. Our site's concentrating on Central New York and a little bit of the outlying area. So we'll talk about Rochester, Canandaigua a little bit, and Ithaca area, and even all the way up to Annie-in-the-Waterland up north.
The North Country?
Yeah. So yeah, Jim designed that logo. And it's it's green because of the trees, and blue because of all the waterways around here.
That's cool. It's a good sticker. Now you got Woods Fest too. Thank you for this one. I saw what Tim's doing over there at Woods Valley.
Yeah, he's doing crazy things over there. It's looking awesome.
So what's that whole new building? Is it just going to be a new ski chalet area? Or?
It's an extension of the cafeteria.
Okay. So
what he did was he's put an outdoor deck on that end of the building. I think it's the south end of the building. And it's radiant heated, so the deck is going to be, heated, so there won't be any ice or snow buildup on there. And he's going to put those stand-up heaters out there, so people who are out there skiing or snowboarding for the day or whatever can just hang out there if it's a decent day. There's going to be service windows from the cafeteria that open to that deck. The cafeteria size is increased. I think he increased it by 50%.
Wow.
And he's just redoing that whole kitchen area because I don't think they did anything to the cafeteria since like the 70s.
Okay.
So it was basically a cafeteria, like you were going through, the school cafeteria line. Same type of deal. But this is going to be more of like almost like a restaurant vibe. The way he's got it set up, he's replacing those big, huge windows on either side of the building. The side that faces the hill and the side that faces the road. They're identical windows, but he's replacing those, and he opened up the ceiling, so now it's a big vaulted ceiling inside. So when you enter the building, you just get that big cathedral feeling when you walk in. And he's putting bathrooms upstairs, which has always been kind of a pain over there because the bathrooms are all downstairs, and most of the activity is upstairs. So he's putting bathrooms upstairs. And then eventually he's going to redo the whole bar area as well. I think he's putting that off till next year. But yeah, he's making a huge investment up there, and I can't wait to see the final product.
You guys do plan on having Woods Fest again, right?
We are planning it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a tentative date picked out for the same weekend for next year.
Cool.
And we've already been in touch with a lot of the bands that we had lined up for this year.
Just kind of carrying it over.
Yeah.
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 Is it going to be a 2-day thing again?
Yeah. We'll have camping available on site. Right now this is what we're talking, so hopefully.
Last year was awesome.
It was fun. It was real fun.
Such a great day. Such a great day, and I really like to get back to it. So get out of here, COVID. Please get out of here so we can get back to entertainment. And get back to work, really. Get back to work. See, we sit here and talk about nothing for the last 50 minutes.
We're like the Seinfeld show.
What else you got on your notes, dude?
Oh, geez. Well, these are my notes from my porch stick.
Okay.
But we talked about Labor Day last night and Labor Day songs. So I had a lot of Labor Day songs on my playlist from last night.
What defines a good Labor Day song?
Just songs that refer to work, or you can go through Billy Bragg's whole catalog. He just sings about unions and the working man and that kind of stuff, and the proletariat, and Utopia, or Todd Rundgren, bang on the drum all day. I don't want to work.
Loverboy.
Loverboy, working for the weekend.
That's definitely on there.
Huey Lewis, working for a living.
I feel like Tom Petty. Anything Tom Petty would fit right into.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any Tom Petty on that.
How about Bob Seger? I think Seger would fit right into.
Seger's definitely a blue collar guy, but he's on a larger Labor Day playlist that I've saved. It's not my playlist, but it's. I took a lot of songs off of that one for last night.
The Labor Day playlist. I like it.
But every week I have my daughter pick out 2 songs that she's into that week, and usually there's one K-pop song and one more rockin' type tune.
Oh, what did you pick out yesterday?
Yesterday's was CIX, I think is the name of the band. Where the heck is it?
CIX?
CIX. They're a K-pop band.
Is it just an acronym?
She said it stands for something. I can't remember what now.
Okay.
But where the heck is it? But CIX. And most of these K-pop bands are basically early 90s U.S. pop translated into Korean. So, you got, it's kind of like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and they got all these choreographed dance moves and all these soulful voices, harmonizing together, and so that's a lot of the K-pop stuff that she likes and listens to, and so I've given her that outlet for that because she's constantly like on Instagram, on TikTok, on whatever other app she's on, and she's got all these pictures of all these K-pop artists. And so we went to Record Store Day a couple weeks ago, and none of the record shops around here carry any of that stuff. So I'm like, all right, let's go over to the mall real quick. You want to go to FYE? Because I knew they had it there because we bought her some stuff there before. And they got this marketing game down pat, these K-pop bands, because they don't just put out a CD or an album. They put out a whole package. It's like a box set of every release is a box set, where it's just like pictures of them modeling, their hairdos or their clothes, and it's just like a whole book, and then they have like trading cards that come with it and stickers, and it's crazy, and they're selling millions of CDs that people, you think people don't buy CDs anymore, but they're still selling them.
They're still selling them, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, she picked that in a song by the band Set It Off.
Set It Off. What's that?
So that is more of a kind of pop punky type stuff. I've seen them a couple times with her opening for Sleeping with Sirens out in Clifton Park.
Mm-hmm.
But she really likes Set It Off. I liken them to a punk version of the Backstreet Boys. There's a whole theme of like boy bands going on here with the stuff that she's into right now. And so they're kind of, they actually cover Backstreet Boys,
really?
The Right Stuff, when they're playing live.
That's New Kids on the Block, Right Stuff.
Oh, it is. Oh my God. Screwed that up. Yeah, so they play Right Stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, New Kids on the Block. But, they do the claps on the stage, and they get the whole crowd into it. But they have guitars and drums and bass in their band.
So it's got an edge to it.
So, yeah, it's got a little bit of an edge to it. But it's pretty cool stuff. I enjoy it. It's not something that I put on all the time, but if we're in the car together and she wants to put it on, I'm like, yeah, all right, we can listen to that. Usually it's Dad's choice when Dad's driving, but I'll let her make her choices once in a while.
What's Dad's choice today?
Oh, geez, what did I listen to today?
Circle Jerks.
There's a guy named James Alex. He's the lead singer for a band called Beach Slang, and he's a huge Replacements worshiper. Loves the Replacements. I'm a huge Replacements worshiper. But he puts out these playlists on Spotify every so often called Here I Made This For You. And he creates these, pictures of a J card from a cassette where he, types in the names of all the songs and the bands that are on these cassettes and does a little artwork for them. So it looks like you're getting an actual mixtape, and it's limited to like cassette tape length, so like 90 minutes or whatever. So he puts on a lot of he put on Circle Jerks on one of his mixes that I was listening to when I was taking a shower this morning. So I just continued listening to that playlist. So it's a bunch of mix of 70s, 80s punk. Some new wave stuff, mainly like 80s punk and hard rock type stuff. But
right on.
That's what I've been into today, anyways.
What's a bucket list band for you? A
Bucket
band you
list.
need to see
That still
currently.
is playing.
Yeah, currently.
Shoot. You know what? I don't know. I'd like to see Elvis Costello. I haven't seen Elvis Costello.
Is he still around?
He's still playing.
Is he?
Yeah, he did a show at Omegang like 2 years ago. I
Oh,
think.
right. Okay.
But I didn't get to that show.
All right.
I'd like to see him, but I hear different things about him. He's kind of like Dylan, I think.
Yeah.
Where, you go to a Dylan show,
You don't
it's
know
either
what
going
you're
to
gonna
be awful or it's going to be incredible.
Right.
And there's not a whole lot of in between. And I hear the same stuff about Elvis and his shows. So, I don't know. I'd like to see him play for sure. But, geez, I don't know. Seen Tool. Seen Rage.
So you've seen them all.
I've seen a lot. Yeah, and that's the thing. I've seen so many shows that there's not a whole lot on my bucket list right now. I mean, there's a lot on my bands that are non-existent anymore bucket list, but a lot of people have that. So
It's probably a 2-page list
Yeah,
right there, right?
probably, yeah.
I hear you. How can people find you online? How do they find 315 Music?
it's just 315music.com. We also have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, and an Instagram page. It's at 315 Music News. We try to get something up there on as much as possible. It's been tough
Yeah.
with everything going on, so we haven't really been
You try
keeping
to
up
update
with.
it every day?
Try to. And a lot of it's like the history stuff.
Yeah.
I found this website called Fulton Postcards, where it's just a repository of just all old newspapers. And I'll just type in, JJ's Rome on the search, and then it'll just come up with like ads from bands who played at JJ's.
I saw that the other day.
Or, Coleman's. Like
Coleman's is the one I saw.
Coleman's,
the
yeah,
other day.
with Dickie Betts
Yeah.
band and the Greg Allman band played at Coleman's in Rome.
Back in
In
86.
86 or 87, something like that. Yeah, and just seeing some of these bands that came through Rome. I mean, we were talking about Captain Trips earlier, but Rome had some venues too that was getting these big names coming through.
I remember growing up, in high school times, like Rome was the place to go. You had Bob McGee's, JJ's, Coleman's. Like that was you'd go to those places. You didn't stay in Utica.
Yeah.
You'd go to Rome all the time.
Yeah,
Rome was hip and happening.
Patrick's was my hangout back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
That's where Nine Ball played there a lot, and SIV played there a lot. And it was a band with the Beatles cover band. No, it wasn't the Beatles cover band. Carnival Dogs. That was it. It was John Smales singing. Adderman was in the band. Dwayne Womack, I think, was in the band. I think Steve Mitchick was in the band. They used to play at Patrick's quite a bit.
Really?
And John Smales did a very well rehearsed Jim Morrison impersonation. He really got into, like, when they did a Doors song, he really got into that Morrison impersonation. But, yeah, they played at Patrick's all the time. And who else?
Yeah, Rome had it.
Yeah,
Had it going on for a while.
I saw Warrant play at JJ's.
Warrant? Yeah.
I was never a big hair metal guy, but
Yeah.
I mean, a band like that comes to Rome, you got to go.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, JJ's is walking distance from my house, so.
Yeah. That's awesome. Good stuff, man. Well, it's good to hang out with you, Kohli.
You too, man.
Yeah, I'm glad that we can get together. We got to get you back on, especially when music gets going again and we're back to full speed with the industry. Get you back on, especially to promote Woods Fest and all the things you're doing at Copper City. And you booked one other place, too. Honestly, or is it just Copper City?
No,
No?
just Copper City.
Just Copper City and, of course, Woods
Woods
Fest.
Fest
And Woods Valley. You'll do some bookings at Woods Valley as well, too, right?
Tim and I talk.
Yeah.
We exchange, band names that we're not familiar with, and
Gotcha.
so we collaborate a little bit.
But they can find you online at 315music.com. Make sure you check it out and get up to date on what's going on in the music scene and put some of these bands on your radar. We discussed so many bands in the last hour. Like, there's some good stuff out there.
There's a lot. I mean, if you think this is just, a limited market for music, you're sadly mistaken, because there's tons of styles of music that are available in this market, and a lot of them are. We just talked about Spotify. Bandcamp has got a ton of them too. I mean, a lot. That's kind of the easier way for musicians to get their music out, is going through Bandcamp or SoundCloud.
Right. Or Reverb Nation.
Reverb Nation, yeah.
Another one.
Just run searches through those sites, and you'll find, a lot of these locals.
Indeed. I'm going to put your playlist in the podcast description.
Cool.
So it's up there. People get to listen to it. And it's something I think I'm going to dive into each and every week, is starting to make playlists. I have fun making playlists. They're fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. So I'm going to start incorporating music into a lot of these, because we can't play music on the social medias. So I want to make a link, and people can go and listen to it.
Talk about it.
I mean, we can talk about it, and then you could go and view it at your discretion at your leisure.
Yes.
Mike Kohli, you're a gem in this community, man. Thanks for all you do in this music world that we live in here in the 315, and it's greatly appreciated, and you keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you,
Keep
sir.
doing what you're doing. Also, much love to my boys over at EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. Make your move stress-free and painless with EJA. Hit them up, ejamoving.com, or give them a call today at 315-335-0516. Shout out to attorney Dave Longaretta. If you need legal advice, give him a call today at 315-735-6162. Tell him Uncle Z sent you. Also, Utica Coffee, and much love to my friends over at the Saranac Brewery. Tomorrow, we're digging into a pretty touchy subject tomorrow. The death of Kim Simon. It happened back in like 1986, and I got a couple of friends coming out. She was a high school student at Whitesboro, and a couple friends are coming in tomorrow to talk about it, and they've formed a committee, and they're trying to get to the bottom of it, because that
It's still unsolved, right?
case has gone unsolved for 30-plus years.
Wow.
So that's a shame. It's a shame. So we're going to dive into that subject tomorrow.
Well, that'll be interesting.
On EC Radio. Yeah. You can follow, subscribe, Disruption Network. All social media platforms. Also, follow us on Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find the D. Mike Kohli, thanks again, man.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
to see you. Check them out. 315music.com, and I'll see you really soon. Later.